Hi there, it's Heather. Well, I finally got myself a gel press, which is a monoprinting plate. I have been looking forward to using these because they're supposed to be great for mixed media and making journal backgrounds. So I thought I'd give it a try today and show you. So this is a lovely, clean, new jelly plate. Isn't it gorgeous? It's just like a thick slab of jelly. I've been assured that there are no animal products in this, so that's good for vegans too, apparently. So I'm going to use some black acrylic ink, and I've got my brayer out. I only have one brayer and I do intend to get more. I did find it slightly limiting just having the one, but it still worked. Now, first mistake, I put the acrylic paint directly onto the plate, and that meant that I added way too much, and I could see this when I was rolling it, but at that point there was nothing I could do other than just go with it, and later I just have to take it off with another piece of paper. So I'm just rolling it over. Just bear in mind you don't need that much, and I would always mix it on a separate piece of paper or another gel plate at the side. So you can see that my first impression, I was actually using a sort of engraved plate on that, the one that I'd done myself and made some grooves in. Didn't work at all because I'd just put too much on, and it basically filled all the grooves in the plate that I'd made to impress on it. So I'm going back in with the same roller, and it's already got some acrylic on there, so it runs a lot thinner this time, and that's probably about the right consistency, to be honest, on there. So in I go again with the same plate after I'd sort of cleaned it off slightly, but I'm afraid it was still a bit of a disaster. It still didn't particularly work. You can see some of the impressions have gone on it this time, but it's still not very good. However, it did make me think, oh, I really like this border. I think I'll have a bit of a play here. And it was so easy to just remove some of the acrylic with a piece of tape that I thought this is probably the way to go, to just use basic shapes and just basic removal of the acrylic with my hands. Now, I waited for it to dry before I put another layer on. In order to take off the first layer that you've put on and let that lift up onto the paper, you can add another layer of paint. Now this time I had learned, so I put it directly on a piece of paper next to me. I used the backing for some sticker sheet, and that worked quite well. And now I'm just braying on some of that white paint. Now again, I think I made a mistake because I didn't put enough on, so I don't think there was quite enough to lift it. It did lift, but not quite enough. So you'll see here I'm using some recycled paper. I cut up a load of paper from some of my A3 sheets that I'd had delivered, and I was reusing that. And you can see it doesn't all come up, and that's because I think I didn't use enough of the paint, or perhaps I didn't leave it to dry long enough. But you can see there the border came out relatively well, and that did give me a new idea. So here we go, back in, and this time I've put a thinner layer of black on there, and I've just put a very basic template that I made myself, and there I'm just fingerprinting basically, just to remove a small amount of the acrylic paint. Then I just lifted that stencil that I'd made. Handy to have a pair of tweezers so you don't stick your fingers in your border. And then over this I decided to put some white again, but because I did quite a thin layer, it made it more grey, and then I went in again with another layer of white that was a bit thicker, and I kept that wet so that I could lift it a lot easier. So just rolling that on so that it's a nice thin layer, and it was going slightly silvery grey. Actually, it was a really pretty colour. You'll see when I pull the paper up, it works really well. So there I go, putting the paper on top. Now I've not done this in real time, but I've left it for quite a few minutes to dry, and that makes it a lot easier to peel the paper back. So you can see there that the plate is actually quite clean now, in contrast to the one that I'd done before. And as I peel that off, you can see that the paint was black and white, so it's got a lovely sort of a steel grey, and it looks almost metallic, and I absolutely love this. So I can see that it's going to be a springboard for creativity and mixed media work. It's such a very, very simple process, and I can see that I'm going to have a lot of fun making backgrounds, and I decided to use this to start some mixed media work. So all I did there was just add a little bit of gold pen around those shapes, and then went in with various pastels and chalks. So I hope you enjoyed seeing this, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.